ladies and gentlemen, cosplayers, and fellow lovers of everything Comic Con. My name is Corey Barber. I am the host of the PrymeTalk podcast, and tonight's host of this very lovely Q&A special, the 20 years of the Devil's Rejects, sitting here with Mr. Lew Temple. How are you, sir?
Hey, Corey. Thanks for having me. Good to be here. VillianSCon, Rock Hill, South Carolina, just down the road from Charlotte. So it's good to be here. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you for being here. So we're glad to have you in a little small corner of South Carolina here. So thank you for stopping by.
That's it, man.
Obviously, your accolades do not get me praised, but I am really big on making sure that those have their flowers. So I want to read your accolades here. And again, I know my research was understand over 50 projects in Hollywood combined, spanning movies, television, and video games. Also looking at, I do believe, 2009 Angel Award winner for Best Ensemble for the cast of Happy Valley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And 2015 winner of the Gulf Coast Film Video Festival Lifetime Achievement.
Yeah, you never want to get one of those. Lifetime. You know, it kind of says. And that was 10 years ago, 2015. So I've outlasted my lifetime. By 10 years.
By 10 years.
I'm grateful.
So we're hoping we get like at least another 50 more.
How about
with some more projects going on the way. So I do have some questions here. They're not too hard hitting, but I definitely want to make sure to take your brain while we're sitting down here.
Yeah.
So, like I said, during your tenure in Hollywood, over 50 projects, such as The House of the Forbidden Secrets, Silent Night, Zombex, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not just to mention the Devil's Rejects. My question is, though, how was the comparison to those roles from the Devil's Rejects to those other horror icons that you have performed in?
Yeah, that's interesting because I think you're right. The Devil's Rejects was my first foray into the horror genre. I didn't set out to be an actor that worked in that genre. I like to say it found me. I didn't find it, but I think we met together. I think that exposed me to the opportunity that genre affords, which is character development. Sometimes you do an action adventure, you're a little bit more of a spoke in the wheel in helping tell the story. Sometimes in the horror venue, you can push the envelope a little bit and go a little crazy, get a little squirrely, you know.
A lot of room for creative.
A lot, yeah, you know. And you feel like once you have had that exposure, that experience, that maybe you'll continue to try it and be challenged by it. I like that. You like to be challenged, right? Yeah, so I like to challenge myself in the role. So the Devil's Rejects was definitely something that got me started down that avenue. I didn't know Rob Zombie. I definitely had heard of the band White Zombie. He, changed that band to his name, Rob Zombie. I kind of thought it wasn't my kind of music, really.
The heavy metal one?
Not so much. I'm kind of a country western guy, good Christian boy from the South working for this crazy, what I perceive to be a devil worshiper or something. And he's not at all. He's a really smart storyteller, businessman that is very much a product of growing up in the 70s, riding bikes, throwing rocks, staying out till the street lights come on. One of these guys, believe it or not, he just happens to have a very active imagination that he puts into play through his movies and his music, by the way. And so that was a great experience. I had been a little nervous when I got cast as Adam Banjo because of those things I referenced. So I spoke to a friend of mine, Walton Goggins, who's really popular lately, who had done House of a Thousand Corpses, Rob's first movie.
Yeah.
And he said, Lew, this guy's great. You'll have a friend for life, and that's the truth. And so that's exactly how it went. So then, because he has great visibility in the horror genre, other horror films started to take note of my work in that film and began reaching out. And I think each one of those has a character that I was able to try something with.
So,
I try a lot. I don't always succeed, but I try a lot. And sometimes I'll look back and go, what was I doing? Why wasn't there a director to say, enough?
kind of move in this direction.
Yeah, let's get back on the rest. So sometimes on the indie horror venue where you're asked to, bring some guacamole to the party.
Right.
Yeah, man, sometimes I might put a little too much cayenne in it or something, a little too much pepper.
That's a Louisiana.
That's
so
it.
There's nothing wrong with a little spice here, a little cayenne pepper.
So I don't mind a director who's able to have a sense of what I like about Rob is he knows what he wants and he wants what he knows, and I really appreciate that in a director.
Awesome.
And that's not always the case. And you know what else is interesting? As I know we're going down a different money trail here, but currently we audition for roles, right?
Yeah.
And we do this now on tapes, so we're literally taping ourselves on tripods on our phones and submitting the tapes. And that means most of that work's just me and somebody reading with me kindly. And again, I'm directing myself. And I think sometimes I could use the benefit of someone going, I don't believe any of that. That's all false.
This is not where we want.
Yeah, dude, you didn't land that. That's not this character. I could use that, but we are more and more prone to being, it's like in life, most of us, get ourselves up and get in the car and go to work. That's kind of where we're at as well. Used to be you go into a casting office and the casting director would say, you're off the mark. Let's get you back on track for what they're looking for this role. And we don't have that anymore. So then you show up on set starting to this behavior, packing your own shoot, directing yourself. I miss direction. But because of that too, I think there's less directors. He does it himself. He's fine.
Right.
I show up now. It's like, yeah, I hired you because you're good at doing what you do. Well, no, Corey, direct me. Get what you got. I don't know. I got other stuff. I got to pay for lunch. I can't direct you.
Let me ask you, Lou. With that being said, how do you feel like that affects like movie making as a whole? With just coming from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot less quality control. How's that?
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have time for that. You actually, we don't. You're not as good as I thought you were when I hired you, Lou, but I don't have time to fix it. I could fix it a little in the edit, but
if you're not hitting the mark right.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to be, off the mark this far. Look, that seldom happens. I do good work, but I don't mind someone going, I think I appreciate what you're doing, but can we try something else? And I'm not averse to that. My feelings do not get hurt, and so I'm okay with that.
So do you think that's probably because of like a lot of newer actors not knowing how to be able to take direction?
Think about everything that you do. Like, say for your podcast, you do a reel.
Right.
Okay. Hey, it's Corey here. We're coming at you live from Rock Hill. Just want to let you know, we're popping over here at the Powerhouse.
Right. Yeah.
Yep, Powerhouse, and we've got some really interesting stuff going on. It's great cosplay, and you're gonna look at that and edit it and go, oh, that doesn't look good. I wasn't looking. My head isn't up. I could do that again. You're directing yourself. Most of us are used to directing ourselves in our reels, our pictures. We get pretty good at
kind of finding those angles and
what we do.
those new edits. Yeah.
You know what you do, right? Or what you do good and what you don't like doing.
Right.
Yeah. All right. And so I think in life we're used to presenting ourselves more than we ever have been.
Okay. No, definitely, especially in the world of social media and everyone creating that contact. Yeah, you're definitely kind of working on things and really creating that self-direction there.
A lot of it is who you are. Who are you to the world? Yeah.
I think that. So moving on, Lew, here were a lot of things. One thing that I didn't know, my wife probably did. She's a big fan of the show. One of your most notable roles is that of Axel from season 3 of The Walking Dead.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit how you kind of prepared to bring that role to life, and what was that?
Sure. So I had seen the graphic novels come across my desk because they're kind of built around, what I used to call zombies. Then when you do the show, they let you know those are walkers.
Right.
We call them walkers. They're undead. They're zombies. But okay, so I thought that's very interesting. And someone said, well, they might do it. They're doing a television show. I'm like, not of this. It's too violent. They'll never do that. Little did I know. Then I saw it. I was like,
5 years later.
Holy cow, they're doing that. They're doing the violence. That's unbelievable. So I went in to audition for the role of Merle.
Really?
And it's the scene up on the roof where he's got, he's handcuffed. He's got to cut his hand off, right?
Yeah.
And thankfully, Michael Rooker was available, and they hired him. He's great. But a few weeks later, they called me back in and said, we want you to read for Merle's brother, who doesn't have a name, nor does he have any lines. We don't even know what he's going to do, but just do the same scene, but do it different. And thankfully, Norman Reedus was available for who became Daryl, right?
Right.
So by that time, they kind of knew who I was, and Axel came around, and they asked me to put that on tape. And it was a bunch of fake script with T-Dog talking about mustaches of all things. How do you groom your mustache? Which is kind of why I started going with Axel with that mustache. So anyway, they thought I'd be good for that. And I was doing a movie called The Lone Ranger at the time for Disney with Johnny Depp. And I didn't think I was really going to be available. So at first I kind of turned the role down. Just not wanting to get it in conflict. Because it was a little power play. Like, I hope they like me long enough to fix their schedule.
Some things on the table.
And they did. And then I was like, well, look, I have a big mustache in this movie I'm doing. I can't shave. And they're like, no, we like the mustache. Come on. And I'm like, okay. Because they always say that, and then you show up on set, and the first thing.
And some producers like, hey, can you lose that?
And then it becomes a thing. So they promised me it wouldn't, and it didn't. And we finally, we worked out. And then I showed up in season 3, and I get to set in Georgia, and I see all these strange names on people's trailers, on their doors, like Godzilla and T-Rex and Leopard and Pretty Candy, and weird names. And I'm like, what the hell? I've been duped. I'm doing a webisode. This isn't The Walking Dead at all.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know that the show was starting to become popular, and they were putting aliases on their names and characters. All of a sudden, out of T-Rex walks Andrew Lincoln, right?
Right.
And big bald head became Norman Reedus. I'm like, oh, you live in that trailer right there, okay. So then it was cool, and it was really great. Andrew Lincoln is kind of the Tom Brady of The Walking Dead. He's the GOAT.
Okay.
And Rick Grimes, and so he was very welcoming, as he is to all of the new players. And it was really an experience I'd never had on television with somebody that was so inviting and wanting you to help. We need you, Corey. We need you. Come on, help us build.
So actually looking to bring in that input.
A lot of times you come in like a stepchild, if you know what I mean.
Right.
You're like,
we got this. You just
my stepbrother. Yeah. Well, I guess we got to have you because my mom says so. But that wasn't it at all. Everyone was very genuine, and I think that's a big part of the success of the show. Is kind of like team. Everybody's pulling on the same side of the road. No divas, no hierarchy. Really, really cool, and everybody was great. And it really becomes infectious. You want to be part of that. You want to help
with that whole growth overall.
Yeah, so you bring it, and then this thing happens, and you realize you're part of a team doing good work, and you're busting your butt every day, and it's all of a sudden you finish an episode, and you're very satisfied. You've done good work, and you realize, okay, I got one day off, and then we're going to do this again next week. And we got to do better. The show's really popular. We got to get better ratings. So The Walking Dead was a great experience. I would have never thought it would become as popular as it became, or that I would get as much visibility out of the role of Axel as it did.
Right.
So I'm very grateful. It's the gift that keeps on giving, right?
I definitely agree. How was I should ask because I haven't done like a whole lot. I've done some background acting, right?
Yeah.
Which was here in the back looks sad. It was a funeral scene.
Sure.
Before that, but it was a very long process, even for that.
Yeah.
Early call time. I can only imagine for a show as popular as The Walking Dead during that time and still rising, right? Like, how was that? Those day-to-days on set. Can you describe it for us?
Yeah, you come prepared because you don't want to be the one that lets the team down, right?
Right.
You want to, do your part and help out and really help tell the story. So, but you also recognize that you're in Georgia, like South Carolina. It gets warm in the summer. There's a fair share of humidity. You're outside in the elements, sun exposure, dehydration, bugs. You're in the woods. There's ticks, snakes, all manner of things that want to bite you. And it's you have to conserve your energy, but you got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. So you figure out I'm going to conserve my energy and have it on reserve for when I need it, and you need it.
Right.
And so,
especially in those long hours. 57 tape.
It is long, and you do recognize that the night's not going to end. It's going to go into morning. So you just try to stay, because it requires focus. Like landing an airplane focus, like brain surgery focus. The really good craftsmen zoom in for those 8 seconds of riding that ball and just lock in, or hitting that fastball,
right,
or nailing that receiver over across the middle of
almost like tunnel vision.
Absolutely.
This is where we're
so you have to have access to that kind of focus. So that requires you to be relaxed. So you get a chance to go in your trailer and lay down for a minute and relax. That's going to serve you.
So, all right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, man.
So moving right along, we talked about Rob Zombie a little bit early on. You shared a couple of great things here.
He should have directed an episode of The Walking Dead, I always thought.
That would have been too scary. I think
he might have turned that
The Walking Dead
a different direction. Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to ask, just by seeing like the sheer number of projects that you worked with Rob Zombie on, what is his direction like in general? And can you share a story with us one time for one of the many sets that you're on with him?
Yeah. So he wants. He knows what he wants, and he wants what he knows. So those are two things. There's not really ever any gray. And if something doesn't work, like a tape gets busted because someone forgets a line, or something happens, someone's shoveling in the background.
Yeah.
If that happens, he just scraps the whole scene. It's like there's a reason that happened, and let's not do it. And you're like, but, and he's like, or he will change the camera, or he'll change the lens. So he's really a good technician, but I think he's a better storyteller. So he has a sense of the story that he wants to tell. He kind of likes very authentic. So he doesn't like it too big and over the top, even though his characters are pretty big and over the top.
Right.
But mainly, he wants you to bring the work. He's like, I don't really want to tell you your character. You do. That's your job. You're the actor. You do that. I don't know who Adam Banjo is. You do. I mean, I wrote it, but yeah.
It's your aspect. Like, this is what I see.
Quentin Tarantino's the exact opposite. I totally know who that is. I wrote that guy. This stuff didn't write itself, you know.
Right.
I'm like, that's right, when you wrote it, but okay. But Rob's really fun but intense.
Okay.
And you have to remember, he's also a performer. He plays in stadiums as a rock star, so he knows performance. And he knows how to lift a crowd, hold them at a point of energy, high energy. And it's a great experience. And so he knows what that is. So you can't really be bullshit him. He knows.
He's already read that playbook, how to crescendo.
He does.
This character.
He does.
Energy.
And as much fun as the work is, there's not a lot of like grab ass. It's like, let's get this done. We got a lot of work to do. And if he doesn't like something, like, so he'll show up on set and go, I don't know why that wall's blue. I specifically said I wanted it red. So I would go, I'll make blue work. He's like, it doesn't work. Let's paint it red. You know, I mean, so I give him credit because he's an artist that way. But he's very good at directing for performance. He gets performance, and I think he continues to improve in telling story.
So, has there ever been, in your experience working with Rob, has there ever been anyone that he's been trying to like drag that performance out of? Like,
so 31, this movie I did where I played this killer clown called Psycho Head. It was very difficult, very physical role, very unpleasant. You know, it's just mean-spirited, and I was trying to find reason, you know, and there just wasn't a lot. He wasn't really concerned about giving me explanation as to why. Why does he do this? Why is he like, you know, I don't really care why, but he's got to do this, you know. And so he just finally said, look, this isn't a safe space, and I don't want you to try to find reason to make it safe,
right,
to make it okay for you to do this. I just want you to do this. You know, I don't want to see you thinking about my dad didn't play catch with me when I was up.
Right.
And yeah, I just want you doing it. So I that gave me permission to just not
overthink it
a
little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I appreciate that. And so that's what I mean about directing. Yeah. And so in his way, he gave me good direction. Actor's instinct. He has that. I like that. I did a movie called Waitress, which is a total opposite of the horror genre. It's beautiful.
How hard was it to switch gears from that?
In this conversation, a lot, but in that moment, not so bad, because I loved the script and I loved the director. God rest her soul. She got murdered while editing this movie, Adrienne Shelley. In the context of giving a monologue, I was talking, and you know, I had prepared for this big speech about what it is to be happy, my character. She really appreciated the work, and you nailed it. Well done.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could just try one more, as if no one had ever asked or cared whether you're happy or not, and it's catches you off guard. Can we just see what that's like? And I was like, yeah. And I did it, and it was right. And I never considered doing that before. And she just instantly knew that this was an opportunity to do something really great. So I did, and so that's good directing. And I think a good actor is open to good directing, to being directed, right?
Yeah. No, I can definitely understand that one. And I guess, God bless her soul,
Adrienne Shelley. Yeah. It was a very sad event. She never saw her movie, which is now a Broadway musical, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. It's Sarah Bareilles and Jason Mraz did it on Broadway. It's really nice. About making pies. Well, things.
We all love pies.
I think we do.
So, we all love pies. Especially me. Like, I don't know if you guys can sit there and tell me over here. Oh my God. Like, I've eaten my fair share. I ate a pie on the way over here.
You did? A whole pie?
Not this much.
Okay.
Not this
There's some, you've saved some. There's something to look forward to.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, my after work pie. You know?
That's right.
Now, we talked a little bit about your awards here. I was going to ask a question about your Lifetime Achievement Award.
That was very kind of them. I'm from down that way, Louisiana, Texas, the Gulf Coast, and I think they just wanted to be nice to me. I'm not sure how many achieved anything more than anyone else, but I appreciate it. I I think I think we all deserve a lifetime achievement award of some sort.
Right.
Life is a challenge. We all seem to rise to that occasion day in, day out. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower. Um, you know, I was never going to leave Texas. I was an actor in Texas and very happy just doing my thing. I wasn't considering going to Hollywood, really. And then my girlfriend kind of kicked me to the curb, and I was doing an independent film with some really fine actors from Los Angeles. And they're like, "You should come to LA. You could work there." And so I decided to take that leap. I have always been someone that tries or takes the leap. And I don't know that it's going to work, but it could. And that's enough for me. So
a huge gamble.
If there's a possibility, yeah, but could it? Could I do it?
Right.
I suppose. You know, if there were no other actors in the world and we needed one, you could go do this. But so I did. I tried, and it's worked out. It's again, there are times where I don't work for months, and there are times where I turn jobs down. So it's highs and lows.
Just like everything, there's always those ebbs and flows. And,
yeah.
In show business, you have to be grateful when you're at those peaks.
Yeah.
Because it can always turn down.
Oh, it will.
It can always dip down.
It will change. It will let you know you're not all that.
Humbleness will come very, very quick to you.
It's a pie that you often eat, whether you like it or not. Humble pie.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to sit here and ask. Definitely don't want to take up a lot of your evening. So again, thank you for being able to sit down.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So for the fans of the PrymeTalk podcast, again, we're sitting down here with famed actor Mr. Lew Temple. Before we turn it over, because I want some of our audience that are sitting here with us to be able to ask a couple of questions.
That'd be cool.
But I do want to sit here and ask, out of all the mini roles, what was one of your favorite? And can you give us a quote, a line from that?
Yeah, I love this movie I did called Unstoppable, which is a action adventure movie.
I love that movie.
Chasing the Train with Mr. Denzel Washington, who is an acting lesson, by the way. My favorite actor I've ever worked with. I think he's the most talented actor I've ever worked with. And I'd put him up against anybody that's ever done that. Chris Pine was in that too, Captain Kirk. A sweet guy. I thought he was great. I love this movie because it's a real action adventure. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It still holds up today. And I got to be part of the hero story, like drive the red truck that they jump in to help stop the train. Yeah. And I don't always get to be part of the solution. Sometimes I do, but mostly I'm part of the problem. And so this was
clowns.
Yeah, this was really fun to do that and to be part of that. So I'm grateful as that goes. And one of the quotes that I like to have was in my comfort zone. Was I nervous? Not really. Was in my comfort zone. I was prepared for this moment, which was all BS. This guy was not. He didn't know what he was going to do. He's chasing a train in a truck. What's he going to do? I had to be alone in the cab of this truck for a lot of the movie and sort of make that live and be alive, be engaged and active, and so it's keeping the ball in the air a lot by myself, and I think I did okay. Yeah,
I would think so. Unstoppable is probably one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I like it too.
It's right there on the mantle at home.
I like when Connie tells me to go check for, we've got a coaster, which means a runaway train, and I'm like, really? Oh, you want me to jump on board and stop? No, I do not want you to do not do that.
She was like telling you the opposite. You were just like, I got it. I can
shut
it down right now.
I'll do that, and he's a little mischievous, and he always wants the the star. You know, he acts like he stopped the train, and the other two heroes did actually.
And I want to ask you, one of my favorite scenes in that is during that diner scene.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking to the waitress, you get the phone call.
Right.
And you're peeling out of that restaurant in that souped up truck, man. Was that all you? Like,
no, I would love to say that was me. I did drive the truck a lot, but for all the squirrely driving like that scene, I had a stunt driver, Jeremy Fry. He's great. He could get that to fishtail. I drove the train or the truck next to the train a little bit. I mean, not when Chris, or it wasn't even Chris, it was stunt double, jumped in the back.
Yeah.
I didn't drive. That Jeremy did that. They needed precision driving because that was a very dangerous stunt. But I did set that scene up by driving next to the train, and it is frightening. You're driving on unsteady, like gravel next to train track, and that thing's going 70 miles an hour, and trains are big, y'all, and powerful. And you're so the first time I did it, they just wanted me to just get up, you know, push up to the front with him in it so he could jump out of my truck and into the. And I was just so nervous, I just goosed it and went right by the train. Like the train's doing 70, I was probably doing 90. I just shot right there. Yeah. Like, and then I'm looking, the train's behind me.
Like, no, stop, come back.
And so then I'm backing down, so the train catches up, and Tony Scott, the director's like, all right, let's try that again. No, you gotta stay even with the train. I'm like, yeah, I got a little nervous because it is. You just want to get away from something moving that loud and fast.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun. And Rosario Dawson was great in that scene, by the way, because she came in. It was a day off. It was a telephone call. She was just going to record that later. She came in and she did the lines for me in the moment, which was awesome.
So you actually got to...
Yeah. She was like even in a different room. So it was like,
Still the phone call vibe.
It was awesome.
You're
working
working with.
She loved me.
That's cool. Yeah. So that cast, Rosario Dawson, Denzel Washington, Chris Pine, that is a master class within itself.
It was. It was really great. All of them were exceptional. And then there were the two numbnuts, Ethan Suplee and T.J. Miller, that let the train escape.
Yeah.
And I read him the riot act, right? And then we were like having this bicker, and then by the train's just gone, all way down there. So it was a really exciting, and to work with that director Tony Scott, who I had worked with 3 times, Domino, Deja Vu, and Unstoppable, is really an honor. It's some of my. I'm really proud of the work I did with Tony. Yeah,
those are great works. Those are very great projects. So, Lew, I am going to turn this over. We have a captive audience here. Hopefully, they have a lot of good questions for you as well. So, we're going to turn it over. I'm going to ask my producer to come up here, grab the mic.
Nope.
And, let's see if we have some crowd questions.
Okay. I'll have questions for the crowd. I have a question. I'll start, okay? So, if there's any horror fans in the audience, horror genre, very cool. So I sort of think there's like 2 camps lately in horror. And I use that word camp loosely, right? So there's the gore horror, all right? So let's call that Terrifying. Everybody know that franchise? And then there's the lore horror, which might be a little more psychological story, which we'll call Smile. Let's see a show of hands for the Terrifier camp. Okay. And show of hands for the Smile camp. Okay. You can do both. Now, someone's going to say, yeah, Lew, but check it out. There's a new camp. There's a new route that has spread, and that's in the form of sinners, weapons, I think even smarter storytelling, even more developed filmmaking. I think the horror genre in and of itself is really in a great place right now, and really smart storytelling. I think, would anyone agree? Yeah. So I'm proud to be attached to that genre. I think but there was a time, to be fair, and you all can disagree with me in that. When was it? Like the 2000 10-ish when we're going for those hostage movies, and it was kind of, did we call it kind of torture horror? We actually called it torture porn. It was really excessive, really exploitative. I'm talking about like, starting off with Hostel, which is pretty great, but maybe even more like Human Centipede, or the Saw movies were very good, obviously. But we got really a little exploitative, and I was wondering if maybe the horror genre wasn't going to live. Man, it's lived through Halloween 9, so it's fine. Yeah, there's never enough Michael Myers, is there? All right, sorry, your turn to ask questions. Thanks for answering me. Like your orange pants. Orange is my favorite.
Thank you.
Orange.
Okay. So
what's your name?
My name is Justice.
Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Department of Justice.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. So I go to Academy of Art University online, and I'm getting my master's in motion pictures and television.
Nice going.
Yes. So one of my questions, with you being an actor, is like, what is one thing that you hate that directors do, or like a pet peeve?
Yeah. I was going to just answer it. It's typically more that what they don't do as to what they do. But often what they do is paint themselves in a corner by directing in the moment without considering how that moment is part of the story. So they're knitting a quilt or sewing a quilt, and that story looks really cool. That scene's so great. I love what she's wearing. Look how emotional she is. It's great. But it doesn't match anything in the story. But they get caught up with what that moment is. And or directors who haven't taken acting class. They don't have a sense of acting, don't have a sense of performance, don't have a sense of authenticity, don't have a sense of truth. Okay? Or directors that get lost in story. Hey, what's going on in this scene? Are we supposed to? And you don't have an answer. Ooh, that frustrates me because it's your story. You're in charge of me, and now I can't count on you for that. I got a question, even if it's not or I don't know. I never thought of that. I don't mind that. Well, can we work this through then together? Yeah, let's take a time. What are you thinking? That I don't think that's where I want to go with this. But I wouldn't mind if you went here. Okay, so I don't mind you not having an answer, as long as you're willing to consider an answer. But what they don't do are things like prepare for the scene, prepare for how the scene fits. I need this. This is what this scene is for, to move the story along. Okay? I know it doesn't make any sense in the moment now, but I need to introduce this piece of information because it's going to be a reveal 12 scenes from now. And I want to introduce it suddenly, like an Easter egg. So I don't want you to land it, make a big moment. You're my dad. I don't want that. I don't know who my dad is. Or met him. Okay? 12 pages. You're my dad. Okay. And so I want you to be as invested in the story. You've got all manner of things. I only have to worry about my character. As a director, you've got to worry about all of us. And the guy shooting it. And the guy with the boom. And what's for lunch. Yeah. Right? I mean, all these things. So, take an acting class. Okay. Learn to act. Yeah. Or at least be introduced to what subtext is. What's blocking? What does that mean? What is upstaging? If this mic is here all day, it's not a very pretty picture. Luke, can you drop the mic? Yeah, but I'm talking in it. It looks okay. It looks like you're talking in it. It's fine. But I need a better picture of your face. Luke, pull your hat back. I can't see your eyes. Yeah, but that's how ball players wear their hat. I know, but I need to see your eyes. look, dude, if you're not in the picture, you're not in the movie, all right? So get in the picture. I need to hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
Here's the reason. I don't want to embarrass you, Lou, but I can't see your eyes because you're wearing your hat like a thug. What's going on? All right? So be engaged and then be not sensitive, but empathetic. There must be something going on that Lou is resisting committing to that line. What is it? I should talk to him private. I should talk to him because I don't want to embarrass him or myself. All right. Never had you never had sushi. You don't know how to use chopsticks. You're embarrassed, so you're not engaging in this scene to eat sushi. I see. You're not. We've got this sushi and we're talking about it, and you're not even eating it. What's the problem? You don't know what to do. Oh, okay. We can fix that. Actually, we're going to build it in the scene. It'll be fun that you don't know how to use a chopstick, but you just pick it up with your hand. Well, is that okay? Whatever. I'm just, I'm hypothetically with you in these things, but think beyond your moment. What you have to prepare for disaster. Put it out.
That's good.
That's awesome. You're going to be great.
Thank you.
I can tell. Be kind and be adult. It's an adult, even though we do silly things. Never let your imagination be in the closet. I mean, throw that out there first. And I find directors that are fun, make it fun, make the day fun. Because it's work. It's a long day, but it should be fun.
Can I ask, how do they make it fun? Like what? Like maybe like what's the particular
I
time
think just
that they
have a
make
joyful
it fun?
heart.
Okay, so
I
they're
can
like
tell you have a
personality?
joyful spirit. I've seen you walk around. I could tell. I think too many of us try to do everything we can but be ourselves. I know I'm guilty of that. I'm trying to be out of Banjo. I'm trying to be Axel. I'm trying to figure out what that script says I'm supposed to be. That's actually the biggest trap to fall into. It's not. It's like dating. Who would he like me to be? You really are best when you're yourself, because there really, I know it sounds trite, but there really is no other you. If you bring you, man, that is 80% of getting the job. This person really knows who they are and is not afraid to present it. That is charming and enjoyable and authentic, and I connect with that. And that's a big part of it, man. And getting people to be in that spirit. Just be yourself. We're okay with that. You're a quiet person. You just like doing your job. I'm fine with that. I don't need you to fist bump. I don't need you to. You don't have to sing in church. Come. Just come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
What's your name? Love your stuff, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Hey.
Been a long time, Ben.
There you go. Of the Rob Zombie films you were in, do you have a favorite? And if so,
yeah, Devil's Rejects definitely my favorite. Love that movie. Candidly, I would say that House of a Thousand Corpses is wild and weird and experimental and kind of its film school. But I think Devil's Rejects, he really found his stride. There was something about that lightning in a bottle. I personally think it was the Four Horsemen, which were Sid Haig, God rest his soul. It was Bill Moseley, who we all love, Ken Foray, and William Forsythe. These are old pros, veteran actors, but beyond that, really special in the skill of tension. They somehow invade your personal space. They could rock on their balls of their feet and their heels, and you could feel them get. You would pull away from the camera when they would push into you, and it worked, and it was just this beautiful. And I saw it at the table read. I was like, oh, this is different. This is going to be the Super Bowl. And they rose the bar so high that the rest of us had just got drug along. We played beyond what we were capable. We did things we didn't know we could do, and we did that. And I give them a lot of credit. Also, Rob. And we were afforded a certain amount of time to tell story, and all of those characters in that movie have a certain arc. You even like the guy that sells chickens, right? Oh, that the red, boss. He looks like he likes chicken. Yeah, we love all those
That's
things.
inside saying, not just being friends. That roll down the red.
Yeah, we love all those characters. What's wrong, kid? Don't you like clowns? Don't you think we're funny? It's all of those are beautiful prose, and so I think not only did Rob build that, but he allowed his work crew, his drywallers, his plumbers, his electricians. When I say that, I'm talking about everybody that works. I don't mean literally that. I mean like I come in, I'm a finish work guy. The drywall's up, I'm putting the baseboard in and some paneling and making it pretty, right? Or messing it up. I'm the guy that's going to tear a wall out and put some PVC pipe in and make it, a mess. And some pretty girl's going to come in and put up the drywall. I don't know. But the point is, Rob let us all build, and we were inspired to build really great, really great. So that was awesome. Devil's Reject story, great, really quickly, just because it's 20-year reunion. We're doing the scene. It's Otis and Adam, and we're in the fight, and I've just had him by the neck with the 2x4, and I'm going to win, and we got this. And he pulls the knife out and stabs me in the groin with the Bowie knife. And Rob wanted a special, which is a technical term for a light on the blade so it glints and shines. And just to get that as it's pulled up into the sunlight. And so in that vein, it was Bill Mosley and I, with the real knife. Typically, we'd have the stunt knife, which the blade retracts into the hilt when it has pressure. And the scene was just supposed to be pulled out of the boot and lifted up and bang, and that's the scene. Cut. Well, the scene was going really great, and everybody was engaged. It was like the best we'd ever done it. And Rob didn't call cut, and we didn't stop. And so our stunt coordinator for that movie was Kane Hodder, the famous stunt guy who has been Jason in many movies. He's an actor in so many, he's really a fine actor as well. And he came in and tackled Bill with the knife and probably saved my life. Definitely saved my childbearing opportunities for sure. And I'm grateful. So that was interesting. I got to work with Jeffrey Lewis, who, when you meet him, he gives you a business card that says Clint Eastwood's best friend. He did all those Every Which Way But Loose, and he was great. He was just a joy. It's Juliette Lewis's father, by the way. He told me some nice advice. He said, whenever you work with the lead actor, always put your hand on his shoulder when you have dialogue. That way they can't cut you out of the scene. It's great. So, it was fun. Yeah, man, thanks. That is a good question.
I think we got time for one more. If anyone else has a question here, you guys have a question?
Any questions? That's cool. I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm going to get a question from the producer.
Here we go.
So out of everywhere that you've ever filmed,
Yeah.
where is your favorite film?
Like location?
Yes.
Like physical location? Oh, that's a good question. I think like experientially something that's very unique is interesting. I was doing a movie called Domino. It was the Hoover Dam, which is a beautiful place, and you could drive across it. Are you leaving?
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, Sylvia Jeffries. It was fun. Are you heading home?
Yes,
I ask you to drive safe.
I will. I'll be careful when I had my orange from breakfast yesterday.
That's nutritious. Good to see you. Fare thee well. If I don't see you tomorrow, hello today. Yeah, that's very Louisiana. Go Jays tonight. That's right. So I got to drive across the Hoover Dam, and it was after 9/11 where they had shut the dam down, and no one was able to drive for a while. I don't know if it's open now or not. But I drove an armored truck that we'd stolen off the dam. Now, I'm in the truck setting that scene up again, but these helicopters had these cables, and the truck drives off the guardrail off the dam, and the helicopters just lift the damn Brinks armored truck. So it looks like it's plummeting and falling, but it's on these cables. There's no one in it, but it looked like I was in it. So that was really cool. I thought that was cool. I got to fly a helicopter up over Mammoth up in the Sierra Madres in the mountain. I didn't fly, but I got to act like I was flying it. Search and rescue, and so that was really fun as a location. But then sometimes there's just beautiful, beautiful places, and you're riding a horse in a western out in Moab, Utah, where the spires and the Three Sisters are, and John Ford shot all those beautiful John Wayne westerns, and you're on the same trail, and the sun's coming up, and you're 30 miles from anywhere on a horse. That's incredible. Or you're trotting on a Native American land that is sacred burial ground, and you're just going through a riverbank that is sacred. That's amazing. There's two different experiences. Sometimes just beautiful places. There's times I've been in Montana where a river really does go through it, and the mountains are above you and majestic. So sometimes the beauty of a place holds its own. And I tend to see that everywhere I go. I shot in Charleston, South Carolina, doing the Righteous Gemstones earlier. I guess it was last year. It was a lot of fun. That's a beautiful place. Beautiful place. Thank you.
I was hoping we have more mics. So, but hey, it is what it is. We're working out. We're doing it. We're having a fun time.
There's enough mics in the world. My brother's name's Mike.
Oh, yeah? So, Lew, I want to thank you again for sitting down with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Answering a lot of our questions here. I just have one more here, just kind of wrapping up.
Yeah.
What projects are in the pipe? What can we look forward to in the future?
Oh, I just finished a really cool project that I like a lot. I like all of them, but this particular project I thought was written very well and directed well and built well with a good cast. It's called The Green River Killer, and it's about Gary Ridgway, who was the Green River Killer in the 80s. This was in Seattle, Washington. He killed like 49 women. There's nothing cool about that, but they had a hard time actually nailing him. It's a little like the Zodiac Killer. And so this is with David Arquette and Nick Stahl and Robin Lively and Vincent Carcashire and Costas Mandalar and Rainey Qualley, who was Margaret Qualley's sister. So it's a very good cast. It's really a good story. It's really about the cops that just become so frustrated because they can't nail their guy. So I'm looking forward to that. Grateful for that.
We have it here. And one more time, the title?
The Green River Killer.
The Green River Killer. So guys, you guys hear it here on the PrymeTalk podcast. The Green River Killer. I have to slow myself down.
That's it. Yeah.
I get super excited. But no, Lew, again, thank you for being here with us today, joining us in our little piece of South Carolina. I hope you had a fantastic day sitting here and maybe got to see a little bit of the city in your time while you was here. Other than that, guys, I'm going to let you have your evening back, let you get some supper to you, and we're going to have a great day. Lew,
thank you. Thanks so much, Corey. Appreciate it. Thank you all. And keep smiling. It helps us all out, right?